Wow, so Donald Trump is absolutely getting crushed today as, check this out, mother of all deals, EU and India sign free trade agreement. And remember, Trump always likes to say he's a genius, he's the best deal maker, etc. However, I mean, apparently EU and India is certainly making a deal here, not Trump. Says tariffs cut to zero for many industrial products, including iron and steel, plastics, chemicals, and pharmaceuticals. Check this out. This is from Ursula. She says, Europe and India are making history today. We have concluded the mother of all deals. We have created a free trade zone of 2 billion people with both sides set to benefit. This is only the beginning. We will grow our strategic partnership to be even stronger. There they are together there. You can also have this from Modi, right? Shaking hands, smiling. He says, today is a day that will be remembered forever, marked indelibly in our shared histories. European Council President Antonio Costa and European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen and I are delighted to announce the conclusion of the historic India-EU Free Trade Agreement. This is a milestone in our relations which will strengthen our economic ties, create jobs for our youth, opportunities for our businesses, foster shared prosperity, and build stronger supply chains. So that's coming from both India and the EU, again, free trade agreement. And listen to this, how Scott Bessent feels about the world.
I think Prime Minister Carney should say thank you rather than giving, this value signaling speech. I don't know. It strikes me that Mark Carney has gone back to his old days. He was the UN climate czar. He's tried to.
All right, so Scott Bessent says that Canada should say thank you. And that's basically their attitude in USA. If you take a look at this, Trump is also bragging, guys, I'm building a really great ballroom. This is Trump's words. I'm building on top of everything else that I am doing one of the greatest and most beautiful ballrooms anywhere in the world. Wow, so great, guys. But this is what people are saying about Trump in USA these days. Mass thugs, sneering elites, and terrified citizens. A picture of the US today. We used to have a name for it. Well, I'll tell you, this is the news in USA right now. Dollar hits 4-year low as chaotic policymaking tests investors' nerves. That's coming out just a couple hours ago. On top of that, you've got U.S. confidence plunges to 12-year low. That's coming out just an hour ago, right? The news essentially is, you can see it for yourself, mother of all deals, EU and India are moving on. We've talked about this before. Canada's moving on. They're making deals and partnerships with China and Korea. And then you look at USA, UPS to cut 30,000 jobs this year. Now, anyone who follows this stuff, you'll know it's always a bad sign when the shipping slows down in USA, be it UPS, FedEx, or otherwise. This means business activity is down. But yet, USA, Trump, they're like, oh, but guys, I'm building a ballroom and I'm the greatest deal maker of all time, right? That's what they like to say. And I always tell you guys, a lot of the stuff in the USA is built on debt. Right? They always brag how we have all this greatest AI and we're going to do so great with that. This is from Financial Times. Big Tech's borrowing spree raises fears of AI risks in U.S. bond market. Let's listen to more about the EU and India trade deal here. Take a look at this.
I'm the president of the European Council, but I'm also an overseas Indian citizen. Then, as you can imagine, for me, it has a special meaning. I'm very proud of my roots in Goa, where my father's family came from. And the connection between Europe and India is something personal to me.
And that is a brilliant message. I am the president of the European Council, but I'm also an overseas Indian citizen. As you can imagine, it's a very special meaning. I'm very proud of my roots in Goa. And this speaks to me and a lot of people who are identifying with multiple places, multiple countries, right? It's a different world than what the Trumpies want to make it to, where Trump's all about building walls, like literally building walls and closing off people and isolating themselves. If you guys know my particular story, I was born in Vietnam. I grew up in USA. I lived in China, Japan. I currently live in Korea. People can move all over the world these days, and you can go back and forth. You can do business with multiple places. That's essentially what you're seeing with the EU and India, right? Multiple countries in the EU can now have free trade with India. and the world is becoming closer together without Trump in USA. I mean, like who needs Trump, right? Why would you want to deal with some dude who wakes up at 3 a.m. in the morning and changes his mind nonstop or calls you names nonstop? Like, why would you want to do business with that kind of person? Of course you don't want to.
Finally, Prime Minister Narendra, we both know our greatest wealth are our people. That is why I'm so glad that we are signing an agreement on mobility. We will facilitate the movement of students, researchers, seasonal and highly skilled workers. And this is also why we are launching the first EU legal gateway office in India. It will be a one-stop hub to support Indian talent moving to Europe in full alignment with EU member states' needs and policies. This is good for our economies. This is good for the friendship between our people. And this openness benefits us all.
And so what she's talking about, right? Agreement on mobility, the movement of students, researchers, and seasonal and highly skilled workers. And if you look at what's going on in USA, right, people are saying, well, what if we remove the World Cup, right, from the USA? That would be eminently sad, but entirely justified. Or you can see like, hey, Prime Minister Carney, we heard that Bessent was saying things about you, and we heard that Trump was saying things about you. Listen to this.
Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says that you walked back your comments on Davos in a conversation with Mr. Trump. Is that the case, Prime Minister?
As I said, well, first...
Right, so the question was, Trump and Bessent were just saying, oh, Carney, we heard that you caved to Trump. Is that true? Is that true? And then this is Carney's answer then. Different angle of it. Have a listen.
The president called me yesterday. We had a very good conversation on a wide range of subjects, ranging from situation in Ukraine, Venezuela, Arctic security. We discussed as well what Canada is doing positively, and this is the context of our discussion, what Canada is doing positively to build new partnerships around the world. I explained to him our arrangement with China. I explained to him what we're doing, 12 new deals on 4 continents in 6 months. He was impressed. And what we intend to do going forward, as well as the opportunity to, of course, move forward on CUSMA. You will note that Minister LeBlanc had discussions with one of his counterparts in the last 36 hours about some of the modalities and things on the way forward. But to be absolutely clear, and I said this to the president, I meant what I said in Davos. It was clear, it was a broader set of issues, that Canada was the first country to understand the change in U.S. trade policy that he had initiated, and we're responding to that. We're responding positively by building partnerships abroad. We're responding positively by building at home, and we're prepared to respond positively by building that new relationship through CUSMA. He understood that, and it was a good conversation, as I say.
So you didn't walk back your comments?
No.
And you can see it right there. I mean, Carney's basically saying, hey, Trump started this thing and we're finishing it. Like we're building partnerships in other places. And he's very polite about it. You don't have to yell. You don't have to scream. You just have to move on. And basically Trump and his people are, you know, like that angry ex-lover, right? And they get all upset that you're out making better partnership, better friends, and basically finding new lovers. That's what it boils down to. And if you look at what's going on in USA today, you got people like Greg Abbott in Texas saying, we're going to block workers, right? Texas governor halts H-1B hiring at state colleges agencies, right? And for those of you who've ever been to universities and such, like doing medical research, there's a lot of people from all around the world that work on this that benefits the whole world and benefits research for the U.S. and everywhere. And I guess if Texas doesn't want workers or researchers, right, people who are going to benefit the economy, EU is going to be like, I'll take them. Why not, right? And you guys have to understand, like this generates flow of money all around the world. It's not just one place. And it's clearly there are people moving from the USA to other places here. Listen to Scott Bessent here talk about these issues.
And interest rates will be down significantly. They're already down quite a bit. Let's talk about the Prime Minister, or if you prefer, Governor of Canada, and him threatening to, break economic alliances with the U.S., go with China. The President has threatened a 100% tariff. What impact would that have?
it would be a disaster for Canada. I was in the Oval with the president today. He spoke to Prime Minister Carney, who was very aggressively walking back some of the unfortunate remarks he made at Davos. And Sean, I'm not sure what the Prime Minister was thinking. Of course, Canada depends on the U.S. There's much more north-south trade than there could ever be east-west trade. He talks about middle countries having to do their own thing. And I'm old enough to remember when French President Francois Mitterrand tried to go down that route. It failed back in the 80s. It'll fail now. And Canada is linked to the U.S., and the Prime Minister should do what's best for the Canadian people rather than trying to push his own globalist agenda.
But essentially, they're trying to play the ex-lover role of like, oh, well, you need us. You can't do anything better than us. We're so awesome. You should join us. And that's why I showed you guys what is happening in USA. You have the dollar at the 4-year low, consumer confidence at the 12-year low. You got UPS, right, cutting jobs, 30,000. And you also have the U.S. economy based on AI, which is designed to replace jobs. And that's all built on debt. This won't end well, although Donald Trump claims that he's building this fantastic ballroom. So there's that. That's what's going on. Like to hear your thoughts. Do appreciate your time. And I'll catch you all in the next video.